Hi, thank you so much for checking out this video. I wanted to dedicate this review to some of my favorite staple bronzers, and I use a lot of bronzers and I rotate through them depending on my skin type that day, so sometimes if it's oilier or drier, and sometimes if I want a more glittery look or a more matte look, and depending on the color of my skin and the tan I have during that period of time. So I guess I'll get started and I'll tell you a little bit about each of the powders and the bronzers that I'm using. So right now I'm really in love, I guess I can say, with this Bon Bell Glimmer Bronze Powder. I actually purchased it after reading and watching the review from Holly Ann Ray, which is one of the YouTube makeup gurus. And I purchased the Bonnie Bell Powder Bronze in gold and glitz. I actually picked it up when I was at Target when I was in Buffalo, and it was only $3, which is an amazing deal. And it's actually a mineral powder, and the quality is just fantastic. It comes in this really great, I would say it's it's glittery, but the glitter is not obnoxious in any way. And I apply it similar to how I would use it with Bare Minerals powder. So I would shake a little bit onto the lid, take a blush brush, and rub it in circular motions, make sure that dust off the excess, and I apply it only on my cheekbones. I know that a lot of people can probably apply it around your face to make it more bronze, your entire skin, like entire face, more even and bronze colored, but because I tan really easily, I use bronzer more as a blush than I actually use it as a highlighting tool. So I'm using this color pretty much every day, and I mix it with a little bit of blush over top, but I'm just absolutely in love with the quality of this bronzer. And for only $3, I really should have picked up a couple more, or in different colors if they had any. I didn't see any, but I'm not sure if they do have any because I haven't seen it in Canada at least. Maybe I'm wrong, but if you've seen it, let me know in Canada. I might pick up another one. But great buy and really happy with it. And another bronzer that I really liked and I was rotating in before I started using this, which I've been using for the past week or so, is this Trace Gold bronzer. I guess we would call it a highlighter by MAC. I don't know if you can even tell this color. This lighting's really bad today. It's nighttime in my room and everything, and sorry. Anyway, this gold, it's a golden color. I'm going to try it on my hand and see if you can see it. No, not really. Anyway, it's this great golden color, and I like to use this almost as a bronzer, more as a blush than anything. And I also use a big, large, fluffy blush brush and mix it with a kind of like a reddish tinted blush. So something like this is a good example that I would use with it. So something like more pink based with this is really great look, and it looks flushed and it looks a little bit bronzy, but it also acts as a great highlighter underneath your cheekbones and everything. And this one is probably my all-time staple bronzer. So this one I use pretty much all over my face to even out the skin color, or I also use it just as a blush because it has a pinkish hue. And this one is by Marcel. It's the Marcel Pressed Bronzing Powder in Natural Bronze. I really like this bronzer. As much as I say like I really like this Glimmer Bronze by Bon Bell, I don't know if if I had a choice between which bronzer is more practical, I'd say this one is because it's matte. And so sometimes, if you don't want a glittery bronzer, I use this one. It's just such a nice color. It's really rich. The pigment is fantastic. And also, my dermatologist recommended this bronzer for me. So he said that it's less likely to clog your pores, and it's non-cosmogenic, and it's really finely milled. I don't know if you can see this color either. I think it's right here. But my skin is really tanned right now. And I've been away for a few weekends too, so I apologize for not having videos posted. But we'll go back on track again. So this one is such a nice bronzer. Really recommend it. I have two because in case I run out of this, I have to have another one with me at all times because I feel a little bit nervous when I don't have this bronzer. I use it as a blush. I use it as a all over bronzer to even out my skin, and it is just such a good powder. It's hard to find a color that I like as much as this one. And because this one is matte, as I said, it's great for all over coverage and all over dusting lot to even out my skin. I know Holly Ann Ray actually uses this one. She mentions all over her face, but I'm concerned that my skin, because it's oily, looks a bit too glowing, and it kind of looks like a oil slick on my face. So it didn't really work on me all over my face except on my cheeks. And some other bronzers that I think deserve honorable mention but aren't my favorites, because I mean these three are definitely my favorites. The MAC, the Bonbelle, and the Marcel are probably my favorite bronzers, but these ones deserve some mention as well. It's this Benefit 10, and I did a review on this already, but I just really like the idea of having both the bronzer and a highlighter in at once. I really like that. And plus the bronze color, like the actual bronzer portion of it. The color comes out really natural, and it's not too glittery, and it's not that ruddy brown, which is great. Another honorable mention is Laguna powder from NARS. Sometimes I find it a little bit dark for me to wear personally, because as I said, I don't like using bronzers all over my face, which is a little bit different than most, I think. Because bronzers usually are to create, to give yourself a tan. But since I do tan so quickly, as I keep repeating over and over, I don't really need to put a bronzer all over my face. And I only use it on my cheeks and a little bit on my nose to kind of even out my skin color. And also for highlight purposes. So for highlighting purposes, I don't know if this is my all-time favorite bronzer. The glitter is just right. It's an amazing color, and I love the packaging, of course, as always. And another honorable mention is this Guerlain bronzer, which I already, once again, I spoke about this before. From the Terracotta Light in 02 Brunettes. It's a powder, their powder bronzer, and it's surprisingly not as pigmented as I expected it to be. I think I mentioned this in a review prior to this. When I purchased it, I was really surprised at how pigmented it was. But when I started putting it on my face, I realized that I had to dust a few times over before I even got any color to show up on my skin, which I was very surprised at, because on my hand it looked like darker, but perhaps because I've been tanning more, that my skin color is getting darker, and to make it look as though it's additionally more bronzed, I had to apply even more than I used to have to. So it just seemed like I had to be a little bit more heavy-handed. And for the price that I paid for this, approximately like $50, I really wanted to like it. I really wanted to like it more than I do. So unfortunately, it just honorable mention. And this one is the Vincent Longo bronzing duo. I've used this for a while actually, and it's still in my kit because I like it. It's the Canyon Light Duo Blush. I like what it does is because this one is very pigmented. So this is almost the opposite of this Guerlain blush, where I have to apply more than I need. This one is deceptively light, but comes out strong, very, very strong. And because of that, you only need a very, very little, and I've had this for almost a year now, and it's still barely a dent in it. You can kind of see that it's worn in now, but I like that it's two colors, and what I usually do is I take my bronzer brush, this is the Bobbi Brown bronzer brush I usually use, and I dust it around both sides, and then I flick off the excess, and then I blush it on then I wear it. So this one is great because I don't need to go over it with a blush, and I usually do. So even after the Marcel, I usually use it as a blush, and I wear a little bit of kind of like a Prism by MAC. Let me try to find it. Oh, I can't find it. But something like Shy Beauty would work too. Something pinkish like this. This is Shy Beauty. But I usually use something more pink. So Prism is my go-to blush, along with my Marcel bronzer. And as well as with Trace Gold, I like to mix it with a blush as well. So something without glitter and a matte pinkish color goes great with it. And yeah, so these are my favorite bronzers, and my three favorites, as well as my for notable mentions. So it'd be great to hear from you guys and let me know what you think and what you're using this summer as your favorite bronzers and highlighters. So thanks for checking this video out, and I'll talk to you soon.